just past 6 o'clock on Saturday the 3rd of February, and welcome to our weekly Saturday evening news programme. Now, good news for the Scouts at Weymouth West Scout Group, part of Weymouth and Portland Scout District. Today they've been able to announce that they have been awarded a fantastic grant of £873,000 from the government's Youth Investment Fund, which will enable them to replace a prefabricated building that is approaching 50 years old. The new building will be state-of-the-art with larger than the existing premises, fully disabled access, and will meet all the latest environmental standards with solar power, battery storage, heat pumps and high standards of insulation. Work has already started in the last few weeks demolishing the old building, and the new building is hoped to be completed and up and running by December this year. In the meantime, scouting continues in the group using a number of temporary venues. Well done to Weymouth West there and those that put the application and bid together for that funding. Amazing news for the young people of Weymouth. NHS Dorset have launched a new campaign asking people to check their prescription order to help reduce wastage and save money. Around 50,000 people in Dorset have repeat prescriptions for multiple medications every month, and it's estimated that 1.6 million of repeat prescription items are wasted unnecessarily in Dorset each year. Peter Cope, who's the head of medicines optimisation at NHS Dorset and who previously worked as the community pharmacist, said, "We want to remind people about how important it is to check what medicines you have at home before placing their repeat prescription order." Repeat prescriptions cost the local NHS around £10 million a month, and we know that a significant amount of these medicines are not used. With the support of our people and communities, we hope that we can make a difference to the amount of unused medicines. We have learned that ordering unnecessary medication can increase the risk of medicine shortages in pharmacies, and we want to make sure that the essential medications are available to those who need them most. We want people to have the right medicine and the right care while reducing the amount of medicines wasted. Thank you to everyone who is already helping us to do this. Now, if you have any questions about your prescriptions or need some support, you can speak to your pharmacy team. Unused or out-of-date medicines can be returned to your pharmacy for safe disposal. And if you want to see more about the campaign and to look at more information about it, you can go to the specific website www.nhsdorset.nhs.uk/yourmeds. So that's www.nhsdorset.nhs.uk/yourmeds. Patients receiving general surgery services at Dorset County Hospital are having to wait up to 6 months on average before receiving treatment. Figures provided by Dorset County Hospital have revealed that patients who are waiting for non-urgent consultation-led treatments after being referred to or by a doctor wait on average 29.9 weeks, just over 6 months. For the latest monthly figures available, only 33% of patients were seen within 18 weeks, and that's figures for November. NHS England has an operational standard that 92% of patients should be seen within the 18-week time frame. Of the 1,296 patients that were still waiting for treatment in November, half were waiting over 27 weeks, and 8% had been waiting over 61 weeks. That's a year and 2 months. For patients waiting for an appointment with a general surgery clinician, the average wait was 22 weeks or 5 months. Anita Thomas, who's the Chief Operating Officer at Dorset County Hospital, said, "At Dorset County Hospital, the average waiting time for a first appointment with a general surgery clinician is 22 weeks, with the average waiting time for treatment being 26.9 weeks from referral. Our waiting times for surgery are reducing, but remain too long, and we are working with partners across the Dorset integrated care system to address this. We absolutely understand the impact of longer waits and the effect they have on our patients, and our teams continue to focus on getting people treated as soon as possible while keeping in touch and supporting those who are waiting. The safety of our patients is our top priority, and our waiting lists are reviewed and reprioritised on a regular basis. Concerns have been raised over the impact that these waiting times have on patients, particularly those who are aged over 65. Now, plans are already underway from Dorset County Hospital Trust to improve its waiting times for general surgery services, with more facilities being provided at several locations across the county. Mrs. Thomas went on to say, "We will soon open a new outpatients and diagnostic facility in South Walks House, Dorchester, which will greatly help reduce waiting times for appointments, and we have plans in place to restart surgical procedures in Weymouth Community Hospital later in the year. In addition, our new purpose-built discharge lounge opened in the autumn, our new purpose-built discharge lounge opened in the autumn, and we are refurbishing our elective surgery ward, so we have this as a dedicated area to support surgical care later this year. Alongside this, we are focusing on running our operating theatres as efficiently as possible and seeing stronger progress in increasing our rates of day case surgery." There we go. Now, staying with Dorset County Hospital, Dorset County Hospital Charity seeks over 100 enthusiastic participants to join the DCH 100 Jurassic Coast Challenge on the 18th and 19th of May this year. It's in aid of the Emergency Department and Critical Care Unit appeal at Dorset County Hospital. Now, this is an outstanding opportunity to make a lasting impact at the local hospital while also getting fit and having fun. The DCH 100 team is calling corporate teams, adventurers and community groups of all experience levels and ages to join them on the 18th and 19th of May to walk, jog, stagger or run our spectacular Jurassic Coast and hit the fundraising target of £100,000. Anyone can enter and choose from the full 100-kilometre challenge, a 75-kilometre challenge, Jurassic Marathon Run, a 50k half challenge, a 25k quarter, or the family-friendly 10-kilometre Bridport Loop. Starting from Corfe Castle, the route heads past Durdledore with ups and downs to West Bay's famous cliffs before finishing line at Bridport, all with full support, food and drinks throughout from Ultra Challenge. The DCH 100 team will even have information and advice from a fitness trainer and a nutritionist, and a photographer will be on hand to snap those unforgettable moments climbing Golden Cap. The £2.5 million appeal was launched last September and runs for 3 years. This is the charity's largest capital appeal to date and will fund extra facilities for the new critical care unit, such as relatives overnight accommodation and a patient garden and an innovative child and adolescent mental health unit in the emergency department. The appeal will also fund artistically designed elements in both new units to help create a sympathetic and healing environment for the benefit of all. Now, Dorset County Hospital's emergency department and critical care units require additional capacity to meet current and future demand, and the new development will significantly increase capacity and transform the experience of the patients, relatives and staff in these two units. Funding has been prioritised by the government's new hospital programme for the construction of the major development. Now, if you want to find out more about supporting the DCH 100 Challenge in aid of the Emergency Department and Critical Care Appeal, then pop along to the following website, dchcharity.org.uk/DCH100-challenge. So that's dchcharity.org.uk/DCH100-challenge, or you can drop an email to charity@dchft.nhs.uk. That's charity@dchft.nhs.uk. Now, Dorset Art Weeks returns between the 25th of May and the 9th of June this year. There's much to celebrate as it's the first full Dorset Arts Week event since 2018, which sees the return of a full programme of activities including workshops, talks, demonstrations, have a go and other events to excite and engage audiences. This much loved cultural event is one of the largest and longest established Art Week events in the country. It's a chance to visit the source of the inspiration behind the works of hundreds of artists and makers and explore the boundless creativity that the county has to offer. Over 260 venues will open their studio doors to welcome eager art lovers and those curious to discover more about Dorset's creative community. As well as individual studios, there are also pop-ups, group shows, curated exhibitions and projects. Artists across the whole county will be unveiling new work and sharing their ideas and inspiration, often in surprising or yet to be discovered places. Visitors can enjoy printmaking, painting, sculpture, drawing, ceramics, jewellery, wood, metalwork, glass and textiles, as well as many other art forms and processes. With a revised and refreshed event for 2024, 30,000 copies of the popular Dorset Art Week's guide will appear at cultural outlets across Wessex from April. The guide will be available in the familiar A5 landscape format with full venue details so audiences can plan their visits. This will be accompanied by the Dorset Art Week's app, which can be used to navigate the venues, create your own favourites list and find nearby venues. There will also be an interactive map and Arts Week flipbook on the Dorset Arts Week website, making information about the event more accessible for more people. Dorset Visual Arts, the producer of Arts Week, is delighted to be working again with Hall and Woodhouse pubs as the event's lead sponsor. As part of the event, there will be a residency programme to support emerging artists at Hall and Woodhouse Home at the Brewery Tap in the heart of the county in Blandford Forum. Dorset businesses are also invited to advertise in the much sought after Dorset Art Week's guide, with thousands of copies distributed across the Wessex region, along with a range of other promotional activity for one of the biggest cultural events in the southwest. And of course, Dorset Art Weeks continues to celebrate the best of Dorset as a county of culture. Now, keep an eye on the Dorset Visual Arts and the Dorset Art Week's websites and social channels for regular updates and to be able to plan your visits. And the two websites are dorsetartweeks.co.uk, that's Dorset Art Weeks as plural with a s on the end, .co.uk, and dorsetvisualarts.org, dorsetvisualarts.org. Now, officers from Dorset Police are appealing for information as they investigate the theft of a motorcycle in Weymouth, which was recently recovered. It is reported that between Monday the 22nd of January and Tuesday the 23rd of January, a silver Honda ADV 750K motorcycle was stolen overnight from outside the gym of Weymouth College in Cranford Avenue. The vehicle was secured in the motorcycle section of the car park. At around 12 p.m. on Tuesday the 23rd of January, officers were alerted by a member of the public that the stolen motorcycle had been found in Lodmore Country Park in Greenhill. The vehicle had sustained damage to the chassis and ignition barrel. The vehicle was recovered and returned to its owner. Officers are now in the process of investigating the full circumstances of the theft. Police Constable Connor Lombardo of Weymouth Police said, "We have been carrying out inquiries into this vehicle theft and we are appealing to members of the public for further information and assistance. I'd also like to ask anyone who's captured footage of a vehicle matching the description being ridden or wheeled around the areas of Greenhill or Lodmore, either on dash cam or home security camera, to please contact us." And the numbers, as ever, for Dorset Police are 101, or if you wish to give information anonymously, you can do this via the Crime Stoppers charity on 0800 555 111. Now, staying with Dorset Police and Crime Panel have unanimously approved plans to increase the amount of money residents in the county pay for their policing service. This means that when you get your council tax bill for April, you'll be paying an extra £13 a year or £1.08 a month if you live in a Band D property. The agreement from the panel to increase precept this year comes after an online survey was held with the public. In total, 1,984 people responded, and of those, 75% agreed that Dorset Police requires additional funding, and 57% said they would pay more. The precept survey ran for nearly 6 weeks, from December the 19th to January the 26th. The survey was available online throughout this period, promoted via local media, Dorset Alert, the OPCC website, social media, face-to-face engagement events across the county, as well as an online focus group event. Dorset Police and Crime Commissioner David Siddick said, "Firstly, I want to thank each of the 1,984 people who responded to share their views and thoughts on police funding and precepts. I want to be clear that asking the residents of Dorset for more money is not something I wanted to do, especially during a time when so many are feeling the pinch. But to ensure Dorset remains one of the safest places in the country, we need to be able to maintain our current position in order to continue driving down crime and protecting people from harm. Since I became Police and Crime Commissioner, I have relentlessly lobbied for a fairer funding deal for Dorset. I want to assure you I will continue to raise this issue until we see issues of sparsity and seasonality addressed in the way our force is funded centrally. I will continue to fight to make Dorset the safest county for all of us. Achieving a better funding deal is an integral part to delivering the police and crime plan, which means being tough on crime, keeping people safe and putting victims first." Now, round 4 of the Household Support Fund will reopen for applications at 10 a.m. on this coming Tuesday, the 6th of February. And this is for low-income households in the Dorset Council area. The government scheme funded by the Department for Work and Pensions provides support in the form of supermarket vouchers. Citizen Voice will be allocating this fund on behalf of Dorset Council, and vouchers will be issued to residents who meet the eligibility criteria within the 6 to 8 week period. Dorset Council's households will be able to apply if they pay council tax to Dorset Council, have an annual household net income of less than £30,000, have savings of less than £16,000 and have not applied for a previous household support fund payment within the last 6 months. Calculations for the annual net income should not include things such as personal independence payment, disability living allowance, attendance allowance, carers allowance, child benefit, and applications are limited to 1 per household. Councillor Laura Beddow, who's the Dorset Council portfolio holder for culture, communities and customer service, said, "In a continued effort to support low-income households, round 4 of the Household Support Fund reopens on Tuesday the 6th of February, offering essential assistance through supermarket vouchers. If you are applying in this window, please make sure you have not applied for the previous Household Support Fund payment since August 2023, as further vouchers cannot be issued and there are a very limited number of applications available in this window. If you do miss out on this window, another will open on Tuesday the 5th of March. Residents should apply online. The application form will be open from 10 a.m. on Tuesday. Find out more details, including how to apply, at www.dorsetcouncil.gov.uk/household-support-fund. Now, if you need any help applying, you can telephone the Council's Customer Service Department on 01305 221 000, or you can go to one of the customer access points, such as the one at Weymouth Library. Now, there's going to be industrial action on the trains once again starting this weekend with reduced service on Sunday and Monday. Industrial action by members of the Train Drivers Union ASLEF will significantly affect train services this coming Sunday the 4th and Monday the 5th of February. On Sunday and Monday, many parts of the Great Western Railway network will have no train services, and where trains are able to operate, a reduced timetable will be in place, and this will often only be between major towns or cities. If you intend to travel on Sunday or Monday, please check before you travel. Trains that are operating will be busier than usual because GWR will not be able to offer the normal service frequency. Other train operators are also affected by strike action, so onward travel could also be affected. Excuse me, I'm getting a bit croaky. I'll hopefully get to the end of the headlines. Where GWR can run services, they are expected to be extremely busy, and bus replacement services are not available. That's the important thing on strike days. There is no bus replacement services. On Tuesday the 6th of February, there will be some changes to the first services of the day, including some planned cancellations. So please, again, check before you travel. And some disruption may go on during the rest of the week as well. So not good news for train travellers yet again there. The basic message is check before you travel. Now the countdown is on to the Love Your Weymouth Festival. If you love Weymouth, then a brand new event called Love Your Weymouth Festival is for you. It's free and it takes place on Tuesday the 13th of February in the Council Chambers in Weymouth at the new Town Hall Commercial Road between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Weymouth Town Council's new event for 2024 aims to bring people together from across the town to get tips on energy saving, healthy eating and what can be done to tackle the effects of climate change. It's being held during the school holidays in February so that families can come along and get involved in some of the free activities. Children can make some hanging water catchers, windmills or just do some colouring. Or why not jump on the smoothie bike that will be at the event and make a delicious pedal-powered drink. A face painter will be doing nature-themed face paints including beautiful butterflies. Local group, the Friendly Food Club, will be at the festival demonstrating some great recipes to sample, and festival goers can grab a free recipe card. Councillor Kate Weller, who's the Mayor of Weymouth, will be in attendance. She said, "I'm looking forward to meeting exhibitors who will be at the festival and learning more about the various talks on how, as a town, we can come together to help tackle climate change. Leading experts will be sharing their knowledge about recycling, composting, climate change, wildflowers, biodiversity and much more. Please come along to the first Love Your Weymouth Festival on the February 13th and discover even more things to love about your unique coastal town." Excuse me. On the lineup there will be tips and talks from organisations such as the Repair Cafe, Weymouth Town Council, Dorset Wildlife Trust and Greenpeace. Ants on a Rock will also be there talking about invertebrates and how to look after them. The event promises an array of environmental stalls from local groups and organisations. On top of all this, there's a free entry prize draw with some great prizes kindly donated by the Noath Fort, Sea Life Centre, Sandworld, Weymouth Swimming Pool, Ridgewater Energy, Coastline Cruises and our very own Weymouth Town Council Beach Resort team. In response to the climate threat, Weymouth Town Council declared a climate emergency in 2019 and is committed to making the council's activities net zero by 2030. More information is on the Weymouth Town Council website. So that's Tuesday the 13th of February at the council offices from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And finally, in tonight's headlines, development work on the Weymouth Park in Radipole Lane is taking shape with some new facilities and features due for completion by the end of the month. Located off Radipole Park Drive and running alongside the RSPB Swannery Nature Reserve, Radipole Park and Gardens is currently undergoing renovation work which will include the instalment of a newly refurbished kiosk, play area, sensory garden and toilet facilities. The kiosk building and raised decking area is due to be completed by the end of February. There will also be 3 permanent toilets added. The work began in summer last year following a £1 million donation from the National Lottery Heritage Fund to Weymouth Town Council. The council have been working closely with the Friends of Radipole Park and Gardens volunteer group to redevelop and make improvements to the park. Councillor Ryan Hope, who's the chair of the Environment and Services Committee at Weymouth Town Council, said, "It's great to see how much progress has been made on the enhancements to Radipole Park and Gardens, which will be enjoyed for generations to come once completed. I'd like to add my thanks to the Friends of Radipole Park and Gardens and the National Lottery Heritage Fund for working with Weymouth Town Council on this project." Now, other enhancements will include a new path across the amenity grass area, relocated and resurfaced multi-use games area, interpretation board showing the park's history, a new area for playing petanque, I don't know how you say that, petanque, new outdoor table tennis tables and an orienteering course. Due to wet weather in previous months, all of the landscaping elements of the project are now due to be completed at the end of March. And Weymouth Town Council also confirmed an official opening event is being planned alongside a full programme of activities and events for the summer. There we go, that's the end of the headlines tonight. Now, before Christmas, we shared with you some short videos about some of the national landscapes based here in Dorset. And this week we wanted to share with you one on the Purbeck Heaths, situated between Wareham and Poole. It's only a short trip from Weymouth, a short trip by car. You could even pop on the train and get off at Wareham, or a bike ride out to Wareham. And there's a lovely area there for some walks and discovering nature and much more. And here's a quick taster for you now. There we go, that's Purbeck Heath. It's from Wareham down to the coast there and along across to Poole and covering the Arn Peninsula. Lots of wildlife, lots of walks, lots of bird watching, and great area to get out and get some fresh air. Now, if you want to learn more about that and the other national landscapes here in Dorset, there is a specific website. It's www.dorset-nl.org.uk. www.dorset-nl.org.uk. Excellent. It's now time in this week's programme to go over to our regular contributor Andrew Wright for this week's film review and preview.
Welcome to White Regis TV film review and preview. I'm Andrew Wright. This week, the horror film Five Nights at Freddy's was released on home video. The film comes from horror juggernaut producers Blumhouse and stars Josh Hutcherson, Elizabeth Lale and Matthew Lillard in this adaptation of the popular video game series. The film revolves around Hutcherson's troubled security guard main character who starts a job at an abandoned family entertainment centre where he discovers the animatronic mascots are possessed by homicidal children. The original theatrical release of the film was successful, with the film earning enough money to put a sequel into development and was a success with audiences, but the movie failed with critics. Now, home video was my first time watching the film, and I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. The film wasn't scary, but I was drawn in by the human drama of the film and Josh Hutcherson's performance of a character who people can relate to. I also really enjoyed the cinematography and practical effects, so I gave the film 4 stars out of 5. And a sequel is in development, as I said. This weekend, the new Matthew Vaughn action film Argyle releases in cinemas. The film is an spy action comedy and stars Henry Cavill, Bryce Dallas Howard, Sam Rockwell, John Cena and Samuel L. Jackson as part of an ensemble cast. The film revolves around a reclusive author realising that the plot of a new spy novel she's writing mirrors real-world events in real time. Now, I saw this film in cinemas opening day, which was Thursday, and I was honestly disappointed. I like the chemistry that Howard and Rockwell have, but the film's just full of stunt casting, recycled camera angles, and too many nonsensical twists. So I just couldn't really get on board with the film. I gave the film 2.5 stars out of 5. It's currently in cinemas and will be released on Apple TV Plus probably at some point towards the end of the year. It's currently receiving negative reviews from critics, and it is intended to start a film trilogy. So keep on the lookout for that. Last week I watched Martin Scorsese's Oscar-nominated Killers of the Flower Moon for the first time on Apple TV Plus. I didn't cover it last week due to award season coverage. Killers of the Flower Moon stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Lily Gladstone and Robert De Niro, and is set in 1920s Oklahoma and revolves around the true story of the murders of members of the Osage Nation due to a local politician's plot to steal their newfound wealth for himself. The film is also an adaptation of a non-fiction book detailing these events. Now, while I thought that DiCaprio, De Niro and Gladstone gave genuinely great performances worthy of their awards nominations, I just didn't like the film's script or directing. The film's just bland, confusing, with random scenes thrown in that make no sense. I did like the courthouse scenes in the third act, but with Brendan Fraser and John Lithgow, but it comes a bit too late in the film, and at that point the film's still a bit bland and uninteresting. Just couldn't really get on board with the film. Plus it's way too overlong. I give this film 2.5 stars out of 5, and it's streaming now on Apple TV+. That's all I have for this week, but be sure to check back next week where I will be previewing the new Zac Efron wrestling drama, The Iron Claw. Now back to Gary in the studio.
Thank you very much, Andrew. We'll be back with Andrew next Saturday as usual. It's now time in the programme to go to the Met Office for the weekend weather forecast, and this weekend we are joined by Jonathan Vautry.
Hello there, welcome to your latest update from the Met Office. This weekend's weather is all about the positioning of some stalling weather fronts. They're currently positioned across Wales, central areas of England, and depending on whether you are to the north or to the south of these will determine exactly what conditions you'll likely see. For those to the south, it is reasonably cloudy, particularly for Wales, southwestern areas of England. Some outbreaks of rain and drizzle to contend with. There are a few sunnier spots for central eastern areas of England, a bit more than the graphics show here, but the best of the sunnier breaks will be for northern areas of England, parts of Northern Ireland and into eastern Scotland where it will stay dry. There are a few showers pushing into northwest Scotland, could be locally on the heavier side. Those to the north of those frontal systems though are actually on the slightly cooler side. Temperatures here mostly into single figures, 7-9 degrees Celsius, which is pretty much where we'd expect to be for this time of the year. But those to the south of the fronts are seeing much milder conditions pushing their way in from the southwest, so more widely into double digits here, 14, maybe even 15 degrees Celsius possible in a few spots. We will hold on to the cloud in the south throughout this evening and overnight. Could turn quite murky over some hills and around coastal districts as well. Some fog around in places. The cloud will eventually spread its way slightly further north as we head into the second half of the night, moving into Northern Ireland, northern areas of England and a touch more into parts of Scotland as well. The showers though persisting across the Northern Isles throughout much of the night. With those southwesterly winds starting to move their way in, it is going to be a mild night for the vast majority of us. Temperatures here really more around what we'd normally expect to see during daytime for the start of February, but something a touch chillier for the far north there in the Northern Isles where they hold on to the cooler conditions. These outbreaks of rain that you see spreading into Northern Ireland are all associated with a warm front that is steadily going to push its way northeastwards as we head throughout tonight and into tomorrow. This is also the boundary line between that cooler air in the north and the milder air in the south. So increasingly as it moves northwards, we will also see those milder conditions spread across more areas of the UK as well. It is, though, going to turn into quite a damp, dreary start for Sunday across Northern Ireland, eventually into Northern England and Scotland as well, as all that rain moves its way in. Some drizzle still for Western Wales, Southwest England, but drier with, again, a reasonable amount of cloud, but could see some sunnier spells for central eastern areas of England. Again, a touch more than the graphics want to show here. But it is going to be a very blustery day for many of us, particularly for Northern Ireland into parts of Northern England. Some gales, perhaps severe gales around for a time along some coastal districts. And again, particularly over higher ground sites like the Pennines, turning very blustery here. With the winds, though, coming in from a southwest direction, that is still a mild one. So again, temperatures are going to be above average for the time of year. Many of us now from Northern Ireland and southern Scotland southwards seeing temperatures in double digits. Just to the north of that front again, where you do hold on to the cooler air in the north, more around single figures, particularly for Shetland, the Northern Isles, where we'll see around 4 or 5 degrees Celsius at best. Again, feeling even colder than that in the blustery winds across the far north. This rain will be quite persistent as we head into Sunday evening, overnight into Monday, and a rain warning does come into force for western areas of Scotland from 6 o'clock in the evening and runs right throughout Monday as well. The rain associated with those frontal systems will just persist across parts of the Highlands, Argyll and Bute, maybe even Perth and Kinross as well. A bit of hill on the leading edge of that at times, but really the rain will start totting its way up as these frontal systems just stall across western areas of Scotland into the start of the new working week. So some localised disruption is possible. It's worth staying up to date with the forecast in regards to this. The fronts will eventually push their way southwards as we head into Monday and Tuesday. We'll have further updates on all of that, of course, as we head over the next few days. So make sure you're subscribing to the channel to keep up to date with that, and we'll see you again here very soon. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. So, Jonathan, we'll just look at the outlook for the south coast here for this week. We can see it remains mild with sunny spells through to Tuesday, but that rain possibly heavy coming back towards the end of the week, but certainly not winter-like temperatures. So mild and wet yet again. Will we get that winter? We might get a hard winter towards the end of February, I think, and maybe some snow end of February, beginning of March. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. What's on in the weeks ahead? First of all, looking at Weymouth Pavilion. Tomorrow, 4th of February, Beyond the Barricade. 7th of February, Shakespeare by the Sea. 8th of February, Bye Bye Baby, celebrating the music of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. 9th of February, The Story of Soul. 10th of February, The Rock Show. 13th of February, Rude Science Live. That's a science event for families and children. And 17th of February, Bowie Live. Tickets for those and to see all the other things that are on at Weymouth Pavilion, because that is just a small selection. Pop along to their website, weymouthpavilion.com. And for tickets, you can contact the box office on 01305 783 225. Excuse me. At the Knowth Fort, week after next, 10th to the 18th of February, is World War II week. That coincides with school half term. 2nd to 3rd of March, Castles and Dragons Fantasy Adventure. 17th of March, they have a science day at the Knowth Fort with creepy crawlies and science experiments and all sorts of weird and wonderful things. And then 28th of March to the 14th of April, they have their Easter Fun Fair. More information on things at the Knowth Fort on www.knowthfort.org.uk. Just touching on some of the things that are out from Arts Reach. Where are we? 10th of February, Counters Creek at Winfrith Village Hall. 14th of February, Science Adventures Deep Sea at the Royal British Legion in Blandford. 16th of February, Will Tell and the Big Bad Baron at Little Cheney Community Hall. And 23rd of February, Mohand and Peter at Portersham Village Hall. Again, to see the wide range of events, shows and all sorts of things for children and families as well as everybody else, artsreach.co.uk. You can get information on the website and book your tickets there as well. Now, turning to church services tomorrow, 8 a.m. Communion at All Saints Church at Wyke. 9:30 is the monthly cafe church service, a shorter, more informal style of service there for families and children, starting with breakfast at 9:30 and 11 o'clock, a service at St Edmund's Church at Lanehouse. Now, what about our other programme? Well, tonight we've got our quiz. 7:30 tonight on all our usual channels, our quiz. Free quiz for the community. Anybody's welcome. It's family friendly and all are welcome to join us. The stream will go up about 7:20 with the quiz starting promptly at 7:30. Now that brings us to the end of this week's show. If you've got any news or events or anything you want to share with us during the week, please do drop us a line at news@whiteregis.tv. We would love to hear from you. That's news@whiteregis.tv. Other than that, I hope you have a good weekend and I hope the week ahead is not too bad. Well, certainly the start of the week should be pretty good. And I look forward to being back with you next Saturday at 6 p.m. for another news programme. Good night.